Finally, some clarity on receipts. We all became new shoppers this weekend, or deactivated, depends which side of the quarter landed in front of you. And where's my ratings? More shenanigans? Instacart's wild and embarrassing week. This doesn't look good for new CEO Fiji Simo. I'm Brian, Instacart Bulldog. Let's hit it. To say this last week has been a struggle is an understatement. All kinds of changes to Instacart's app. One of them might be good, the others, well, that just turned into a big mess. But did you expect anything less? Hey, I'm Brian, Instacart Bulldog. Welcome back to this channel. Welcome to all the new subscribers who joined this past week. Thank you so much. I'm happy that you're here, and thank you to all the returning subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed, I certainly invite you to, especially if you find any of this information helpful. We finally, after 16 months of me shopping on the platform, got an answer as to how long should you keep your receipts. Now, whether you've been shopping for Instacart for a month, 16 months, or even 4 years, you have been prompted to keep your receipts anytime you've ever had to scan them or take a picture of them through the app at the end of an order. You probably have seen this old message. So the question that has come up many times over has been, well, how long am I supposed to keep these things? And judging by some people that I talk to, they never keep them. They throw them away as soon as they get out to the car, or they may hold them for a month, or they may hold them for just a couple of weeks. I typically hold mine for about 2 weeks to a month. But then finally, this weekend, while I was working an order that I had to scan in the receipt, I saw new prompts for the way you handle those receipts. So it was kind of a basic tutorial, which really went through a lot of what we already know. But here's the message that appeared. Yes, they want you to keep your receipts for 2 weeks. Now, why is that? Well, I don't know, because they don't communicate with us. They don't tell us these changes. They never told us why or how long. Until just recently, they told us how long, but now they won't tell us why. But that's okay. I'll tell you why you need to keep those receipts in case you need to do a return. Now, they do kind of tell you that, but chances are you've probably never had to do a return outside of maybe for a non-delivery, immediately after you've tried to deliver to a customer. But I'm talking a day or 2 or 3 or whatever. Because this actually did happen to me one time. Several months ago, it was a Saturday morning, 6:30 a.m. I'm trying to sleep in a little bit, right? Phone rings, I look over, it's Instacart support. What the heck are they calling me about? So I answered, and they said, you delivered a digital thermometer to a customer yesterday. Well, she told us that it's not working, and she would like to get refunded for it. Can you return the item to the store? And I said, well, how much are you going to pay me? So they came up with a dollar amount. I can't remember what it was, but it was enough to get me started, because I do remember the customer lived like a quarter of a mile away from the store. So they gave me the customer's phone number. I did call her. This is one of the few exceptions that you can call somebody outside of the app. I just needed to get her side of the story to find out what the issue is. So when I did go back to the store to return this item, I can give at least some explanation so they know that, this is legit. And I told them it's an Instacart order. They recognize me in the store as an Instacart shopper, so that wasn't a big deal. I did the return. I messaged Instacart support, sent them a photo of the return. I got my bump and immediately started taking batches right in that store. So it worked out well for me, but it will happen. So again, why 2 weeks? Well, because the customer can rate you for 2 weeks. So think about this. Let's say day 13, the customer decides this Bluetooth speaker that they bought from Best Buy doesn't work anymore. Well, they want to return it. Instacart's going to ask you if you want to return it. Now, of course, you don't have to. You can do, you can get a bump for it, whatever. You're not going to do it for free, okay? Understand that now. You're going to make them pay you to do that because they would rather lose 10 bucks or maybe even 15 bucks instead of losing 60 or 80 on this item. That digital thermometer, by the way, was a $50 item, and so they would rather pay me that rather than lose the full 50 bucks. Something wild happened this weekend, and you got greeted with this one on Friday. Now, for me, I was in a busy resort town here in the Florida Panhandle trying to make up for what was a very poor performing week. Instacart has been slow all week. Even the food delivery apps just weren't enough to make it for me. So I needed to make as much money as I could on the remaining aspect of the summer tourism season here. So I'm in this town, I'm all positioned, and then I got this. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And I'm like, I've been doing this for 16 months. New shopper, paperwork, what? I don't get it. I don't understand. So I immediately thought, okay, this is really bad. This is a scam. This is whatever. I don't know. So I close out the app. I clear out whatever is in my cache on the phone. Shut down the phone. Wait about 30 seconds to a minute. Restart the phone. Restart the app. It's still there. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't have a choice. I need to make money today. I don't have time to play around. Let me reach out to support. Support's not available because they're experiencing high chat volumes. I said, all right, well, let me just go through this. So I just clicked next, 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 next. I didn't play around. I was like, I know all this stuff. And then it said, congratulations, you can start shopping. So now a new thing is, thanks to whatever update they did, now I have to do this every day. I've never had to do this before, so I don't know where this came from or why. It's just there. Now, let's talk about our ratings. What the heck is happening to those? Those things are disappearing. I did a video a few weeks ago about the new rating system. That was new to me. Some of you had already been seeing it. Others hadn't seen it yet. The one with the thumbs up or the thumbs down. Many of you are still seeing, actually, the old 5-star system. I know the customers get the 5 stars and, whatever the whole thing is. So it was kind of explained to us how the new rating is working, and if you dig through the app, you'll see some more explanations. But of course, nobody will ever send us an email on it. They just bury it somewhere deep inside the app and expect you to know. One of the things that I've noticed is that my ratings are disappearing. So I'm not seeing any new 5-star review comments. I haven't gotten one since September 11th. I'm noticing that the old categories of the 4 boxes, those numbers have gone down. Now I'm down to 14. It was twice that or more just actually a week ago. But there's no problem with the missing items showing up, right? Or the damaged items because someone's box of cereal happened to have a little dent in it because the cashier put the death grip on the thing while they were lifting it over the scanner and then sending it down there for the bagger to put in. Now, I bag my own groceries, so that doesn't happen to me. There's nothing wrong with what's inside the box, but because someone put the death grip at the top of it, where it's just a little indentation just below the top, didn't do anything to affect the packaging at all, but whatever. It's just, that's what people do, and they get away with it all the time. And so we have this thumbs up, thumbs down thing that shows you percentages. Here's the thing, how do we know when we're being rated? They don't tell us the number of those thumbs up or thumbs down. They just show us a percentage of those. So Uber, when they show you those ratings, at least they're showing you the numbers of the people that are giving you those thumbs up or thumbs down. But not Instacart. They just want to show you a percentage, which really doesn't tell us anything. So what's the whole point of the whole thing? And now they sent us an email also just this past week about this new daily summary that was supposed to come out this past week. Have you seen it? I haven't seen it yet. So they send you an email saying it's going to be coming out, but it doesn't come out. So I don't know if the customers are even allowed to rate us anymore or give us reviews, because I haven't seen one since September 11th, and that's unusual for me. I usually get a few a week, and I delivered to a customer who every time I deliver them gives me a 5-star review. So I don't know what's going on with that. So are there some shenanigans there, or is it the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing? So now you might be wondering about all these app changes and the glitches and false promises that have been made by the new CEO, how that's affecting her image. Well, I can tell you one thing that's not helping her, and that is some gig workers that are now calling for customers to delete the app from their phones in an effort to get Instacart to recognize a number of the demands that they're making. This is not good for CEO Fiji Simo from a PR standpoint, and I've done public relations work, so I know that this is not good no matter what side of the issue you may fall on with that. But I can tell you this, asking customers to stay away, and if customers stay away, that's not going to be very good for Instacart's efforts to seek to go public and do an IPO or whatever the heck it is that they're doing, and possibly a merger with DoorDash has been rumored and reported and whatever. So it's a mess. It's an absolute mess, and I just don't get it. I did a video on the email that the new CEO sent out to us, and seeking our feedback to help improve the shopper experience on the app. Well, I know many of you have written those emails. I've written one. Mine was quite extensive. It was quite long, and I haven't gotten a response yet. Have you gotten a response to yours? Now, mine, granted, was admittedly a little long. I had a lot of topics to cover. I headlined what they were, stated the problem, and then mentioned the proposed solutions. And I did so in a very respectful manner, very upbeat, because, hey, as I said at the time, this can either be a genuine effort to make things good for us, or it could be just a bunch of corporate. Well, it certainly appears to me now that it was just a bunch of corporate, because I don't know anyone who's gotten a response yet from her, as she said she would, or her team maybe, and I just got an automated response when I sent the email, so I know they got it because I got the automatic reply immediately after sending it. So we'll see, but in the meantime, we'll just carry on. I certainly hope your Monday goes a lot better, and I hope the rest of your week goes a lot better than it has been the past month. It has been very tough for many of you. This is probably that post-summer slowdown month. September tends to be a little weird. For me, fortunately, it has been good. I've been able to make my weekly goals, but that's been coming mostly from doing 2 days work in the busy resort towns around here, and I've made 2/3 of my week's earnings in 2 days. Now, those are extremely long days, and they're very, very exhausting, but that's coming to an end for me soon, so I have to continue to make adjustments to my routine. I think I talked about this in my last video, that I'm adjusting. You need to be able to be nimble. You need to put a value on yourself. You need to multi-app. So the big thing is to know your worth, recognize your value. There's quite a few YouTubers out there that I watch that preach this. I want to give a shout out to Joe Gig, because he has helped me realize my value for food delivery apps, and he used the term dead miles, and that factors into a lot of decisions on what orders that I accept. And also there's a Jen on the Go, who again reinforces and is eloquent about the no tip, no trip things, and I will just tell you again, I will back her up, and I've said it before, and I'm probably preaching to the choir here. Do not ever, under any circumstances, take those no tip orders. And those low tip ones too. So despite the efforts of this new boycott, and we've seen boycotts come and go with very little impact, the only ones who can make the impact is you, and in what batches you accept. Do not service these low tip orders. Do not service the no tip orders. Make those things sit there. Improve your own worth. Improve your value. This is about you. This is why you do this. You get to decide what orders you take. You get to decide what your worth is. And you get to decide your dignity and not to be taken advantage by cheap, no-tip customers. Because the more you do this, the more it feeds that beast. Instacart doesn't care if that customer tips or not. All they want to do is see that order serviced. Why should you bust your butt and waste your gas and insure your vehicle and the maintenance on your vehicle, which is very high, by the way, and those costs are not going down? Why should you do all of that plus put yourself at risk for $7 for something that's going to take you 45 minutes to an hour to do? There is not going to be a cash tip on the other end. Don't you think for a minute that there will be. It's not there. And you are only taking the incentive away from customers who do tip 10, 15, 20%. You're taking that incentive for them to tip those amounts and tip either $2 or 0% because they know, hey, why should I pay a shopper $25 tip when I can get it serviced for $2? Or better yet, nothing at all. Why should they care as long as they get their stuff, right? Because I know there are many shoppers that will do their best, but they're selling themselves short. You're doing yourself a disservice. You're doing your family a disservice if you have those that depend on you. So don't do it. Send your message. The power rests solely with you. Do not expect another organization to do it for you. You have to do it yourself. And when you're doing it for yourself, you're doing it for people like me and others who depend on this as their primary source of income. I hope you found this information useful, informative, entertaining, whatever. This was just kind of an unloading of the past week's events. Again, I wish you a lot of success this coming week. Please like this video and subscribe, and I'll be back with more tips for bigger tips and better ratings. I'm Brian, Instacart Bulldog. Go get 'em!